F124's release date has supposedly been leaked today, and apparently an announcement by Codemasters is just around the corner. I'm very excited to finally be talking about F124. It's that time of year again, the rumors are starting, and we're going to dive deep into it. It's been no secret though that this has been probably the worst year for the F1 game since F1 2014, 2015, where if you were around back then, the game was a real big pile of poo. But for many reasons. F124, let's hope that this is the game that we get that we're all hoping for. Big next-gen changes, advancements in the damage model, My Team updates. That's what we're hoping for. Let's dive into this article because there's been a lot of things going around today. Many different articles being produced. One of which we're looking at now, RacingGames.gg, have put out this article. And it says F124 is reportedly coming earlier than expected. So let's read into this and see if we can find any little juicy details. Of course, though, when official news drops from Codemasters, I will be making videos on it. So make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Maybe even turn on notifications to make sure you don't miss those announcements. So like I said, this is from RacingGames.gg. F124 reportedly coming earlier than expected. F124 could be announced next week, according to a reliable leaker. With the 2024 F1 season almost underway, players are eagerly waiting news on Codemasters' next F1 game, expected to launch this year. F124 has yet to be announced, but we may not have long to wait, according to a reliable leaker. If this rumor is true, F124 will arrive earlier than F123 and F122. Here is the rumored release date leak. F124 will be released on the 31st of May, 2024. Over the last few years, it's been creeping from October, September, August, to now July and June, which is kind of the release window we're used to in the current gen. But 31st of May is the earliest by far we've ever seen an F1 game come out. And following that trend, I think this could be legit. I think Codemasters are trying to get as close as physically possible to the start of the season. Why? Because if you remember back to F1 2020, the F1 season, because of COVID, kind of not really in their control, but it was timed nicely with the F1 game coming out weeks after the F1 season starting, and it turned out to be the most successful F1 game of all time, I believe. So the earlier you can release the game, the closer to the hype and excitement of the season, the better the sales are going to be. The last thing we want, like we've had last year, even in July or June when the game came out, Max Verstappen was pretty much already penciled in to win the championship, and that definitely hurt F1 game sales. F1 has been not the same the last couple of years, and the game is suffering because of it. So 31st of May then, that is just after Monaco Grand Prix. Like F123, those who pre-order the F124 Champions Edition will reportedly get 3 days early access from the 28th of May. Furthermore, EA Play subscribers will get a free 10-hour trial, as is the usual EA policy. Moving on though, F124 announcement is imminent. F124's announcement is said to be imminent, with the leaker pinpointing 27th of February as the reveal date. That is next Tuesday, 2 days before the cars hit the track for practice for the very first F1 race. That makes sense. Usually, there is an announcement or news dropping about the F1 game on the Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday before an F1 Grand Prix. So that checks out. And also capitalizing on the massive hype of new season excitement. For reference, last year's game was announced on the 28th of April. If you remember, it was that Connosport Racing Team reveal, which just revealed the team. It was very cool, very unique, but they didn't really talk about the game. They just talked about the fictional team that was coming into Breaking Point at the time. And then it wasn't until further down the line that the game was officially released. And it was a little bit weird if you remember last year as well. There was a teaser, and then a teaser for the teaser, and then finally an announcement. I really hope the marketing is a little bit better with F124 this year, because they certainly made some mistakes last year, even with promoting the game. So let's hope that they don't make the same mistakes with F124. The less said about last game, the better. But yeah, 27th of February is a very punchy time to release the game, super early, and we won't have to wait long to find out if it's wrong. reading further along, F123 was announced on the 3rd of May last year. That was the official reveal after all the teasers. So this is much earlier than expected. It's plausible, however, as this would coincide with the 2024 Bahrain Grand Prix next weekend, which I'm going to, by the way, so expect content for that. That is going to be absolutely sick. And best believe we're going to be making videos on the announcement of F124 when it gets announced. Maybe next week. Unlike F123, pre-orders for F124 are expected to start soon after the announcement and will include an unknown livery pack. Pricing is expected to match F123 at £60, €70 and $70 for the standard edition, and £80, €90 and $90 for the Champions Edition on PC. I guess that's a small win that the game isn't getting more expensive. I mean, in today's market with inflation and everything, it could have been very easy for them to just slap an extra $5, $10 on top of that. But thank you, I guess, for not making it more expensive. As for consoles, the standard edition is expected to cost £70. Oh, it is costing more on consoles. That's a shame. While the Champions Edition is expected to cost £90. It's a stark contrast to EA Sports WRC, which launched at a lower price last year. The leaker didn't confirm if F124 will be released on PS4 or Xbox One, but last year's game was launched on last-gen consoles, so it's certainly possible. PSVR 2 support is also unconfirmed. I really hope they bin off the previous-gen consoles, and I'm sorry if you're going to be a casualty of missing out on that, but I feel like the F1 games are really starting to be held back by the previous generation and the consoles. If we are set to get a new handling model, a new physics engine, etc., it would make sense to make the leap to just current gen. They will take a hit with sales, I imagine, but the game and the product itself will be much better, and I hope we'd have a much better framework for us to enjoy and to drive with, because there are so many facets of the game that are so, can't even think of the words, so ignored, so lackluster, like the replay systems. iRacing is killing the F1 games for replay cameras and just features, and that's a 10-year-old game. Yeah, the replay cameras from 10 years ago, even from iRacing, still crap all over the F1 games. And I'm sorry to say, but I want better replay. And there's so many other better things we can have by having more resources. I'm going off on a tangent. Another thing, the tracks. So many tracks are unloved and unupdated for the last, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even more years than that. Spa. We need an update to Spa. So hopefully, we get some clarification on some of those things going forward. But anyway, enough about that. Let's get back and finish off this article. Codemasters hasn't confirmed these rumors, but Bill is usually reliable, having correctly revealed F123's release date and named EA Sports WRC ahead of official announcements. So fingers crossed these leaks are reliable, and we can expect an announcement next week, as well as an earlier timed F1 game. I think that would be very, very hype, as long as they have addressed a lot of the bugs, a lot of the issues, and brought some updates to my team, which we oh so desperately need. Which is kind of why I'm thinking maybe they've sacrificed F123 to make F124 come out earlier, but also be a bit more refined. I am praying we get a better game this year. Otherwise, we're in the mud. Anyway, what can we expect in F124? As for what to expect, nothing is known yet. With no driver or track changes from the 2024 season, it will be interesting to see how F124 pushes the series forwards. Fans are hoping for career mode and My Team upgrades after F123 focused on Breaking Point and F1 Life. Now, I see this as a good thing, the fact that there's no driver changes, there's no extra tracks thrown into the mix this year. Finally, Codemasters can maybe divert some of their resources, some of their team away from having to build a track from scratch and actually flesh out some of our current game modes and features and just refine things to a point where a lot of us are a lot happier. I see that as a positive. The fact that there's less workload, they're maybe playing less catch up, and they can focus on things that matter. And finally, Codemasters F1 games have run the studio's in-house Ego engine since F1 2010, so switching to a new graphics and physics engines to take advantage of current-gen consoles seems like the next logical step. EA Sports WRC switched to an Unreal Engine last year, but different Codemasters teams handle the WRC and the F1 series. We'll wait and see. We will wait and see. Will they switch to Unreal? or will they develop a new generation of ego? I guess time will tell, and hopefully we only have to wait a week or so to find out. But let me know what you thought of today's news. What do you want to see from F124? I'm thinking about doing like a discussion time video on F123. This is super late, but I want to talk about what went wrong with F123 and what could have been done better to make the game successful. So think of it as almost like a preview to F124 and what changes they should have made to F123 coming into 24. We might have a preview of perhaps what they're looking at cooking in the future. But yeah, for sure, for me, top 3, updated my team. I would like to see replay cameras made a lot better. Gran Turismo iRacing have much better offerings. I'd like to see better damage physics and more online features, more online support. I'm hoping one of these days we get dedicated servers, but that's probably more of a pipe dream on my end. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much. Hopefully you guys have appreciated the more daily uploads lately, and we can look forward to more of that as things cook up, as the F1 season starts, new F1 game season starts as well. So there's lots to look forward to, but hopefully, above all else, we all get a good F1 game this year. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.